The question about the national debt, I think, is probably the most important question facing our Congress right now. All of you know that the House of Representatives is composed of 435 members. So for any particular bill to pass, it takes 270 votes. One congressman, himself or herself, cannot get anything done. They're just one vote. It takes 270 to make a majority. When you look at our debt, we owe $15.3 trillion tonight. We will owe $16 trillion by the end of the year, according to the latest projections. Last year, ladies and gentlemen, 48% of Americans did not pay any income tax. 52% paid the income tax that was paid into the Treasury. 43% of every dollar our federal government spends is borrowed. That's staggering. Imagine running your business and every month you have to call the banker and get 43% of your payroll. You would only be in business so long as you had a good relationship with your banker. Because when the banker cuts you off, you will shut the doors to your business. Yet that's exactly how our federal government is operating. Our national budget every year is roughly the $4 trillion range. We're borrowing just under $2 trillion of that. The sad thing is we're borrowing a lot of that money from our children and our grandchildren. A lot of this debt is not being paid. It's being passed on to future generations. Secondly, a lot of this debt are being borrowed from other countries that are not necessarily our friends. China is carrying the most of our foreign debt. So there's a lot of issues that go into the national debt. There's a lot of policies that Congress needs to work on to reduce our debt. I think one of the most important things Congress can do is step back and look at the true constitutional role of what the federal government should do. It should protect our freedoms and provide a national defense. And outside that, when we look at bills as members of Congress, does it expand the federal government beyond that constitutional role? I think it needs to pass a very strict scrutiny test. And unless it passes a strict scrutiny test, we should not vote to expand our federal government beyond its constitutional role. And if we do that, I think we will free up the marketplace, because the fact is, if we will grow our private economy, our national debt will go down. Our GDP will go up, and the amount we borrow for our GDP will go down. And that's what needs to happen in this country. We don't need to be borrowing 43% of every dollar that we spend. And the best way for this to happen is to free up our private economy. Jobs, ladies and gentlemen, need to be created in the private sector. If the federal government creates a job, you and I are paying for it. And so I think the best turnaround policy is to have policies by our federal government that will allow the private sector to grow and the private sector to create jobs. Thank you.